What's up, y'all? Thank you so much for tuning in to our first episode of Red Seat. I am your host. My name is Jazzy, and I have here with me my co-host, Manny.
Hey.
Yeah, he'll get warmed up into it. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We have no idea what's going to be of this podcast, but one thing I do know for sure is that there is a purpose behind it because it was embedded in Manny's heart to kick this off. And at first I was like, how? Briefly, I thought like, how are we going to pull this off? Because business-wise, we're busy. Personally, we're busy. But then I just had to go back and remember that everything that gets embedded in your heart, Manny, like, you go full force with it. I don't question it. I just said, vámonos, let's go. Let's go at it. And two things. One, perfect timing more than ever for this podcast to kick off because of the pandemic. This year, 2020, has just been a roller coaster for so many people. It's just been unbelievable. So what better time than to spread, I don't know, I'm just going to say that red love, the red message of what this brand that you created stands for. And two, because finally, after so many years that I want you to tell people about R.E.D, the story behind it, how it was created, and just so much behind the scenes, you were just like, no, I don't want to be in front of a camera. I don't want anybody to know who I am. Not that you're ashamed of it, but, you know, I can talk about R.E.D all day to someone, but you are the creator. You are the founder. The passion that you have for it is unbelievable. So with that being said, let's kick off with the podcast. What was it about it that you said, we need to do this now?
Well, it's just the message behind R.E.D. I mean, it's a perfect time. I never thought in a million years that when I was trying to create a brand to stand for something that it was at this moment. I mean, when more than now are people having to rebuild their lives? I mean, the normal is gone. The norm is gone. People are losing jobs. Businesses are closing. It's their lifestyle has to start rebuilding. People are losing jobs. Once again, they lose jobs. You have to create a job or, just suffer and go through it, the rough times. But what do you call it? Basically, it's just, I don't know. I think with the podcast, we can reach more people.
Yes.
We can make more people aware of what R.E.D stands for, which is another thing leading to the people that we're going to bring on here. People that we're going to bring on here are going to, relate to the brand. I mean, it's more than just a clothing line.
Exactly.
I didn't start this podcast. I didn't start this brand just to sell a t-shirt. I can sell t-shirts all day long. There's a message behind every shirt that I create, the designs, a message. There's also, people out there that need to hear it. And I think this is a great, great way to bring everybody a little bit closer, to let them know they're not going through this alone, of course.
Everybody is R.E.D, every single lifestyle. That's why it is R.E.D lifestyle, because it's for every walks of life. The rebuilding process, you evolve and then you destroy all obstacles. So yes, I'm so excited for everybody that we're going to have because they have been R.E.D in the past or they're still going through every single stage at the moment. So leading to everybody that we have lined up to come up, I'm just so excited for everybody. But let's turn things back to you, okay? This is about you. And I know it's very hard to talk about, oneself, but this is going back to you because, I have you right here. Let's get it going. How did R.E.D come about?
R.E.D came about a couple of years ago. I went through a very, very rough time in my life. And what do you call it? I just wanted to create something pretty much for myself to give me something to look at and say, you know what, you're going to stay down. You're going to, you know what I'm talking about. What am I talking about?
Well, there's many stages of it all. Which one are we going to go? We're going to go straight to when you quit your long-time job and then you open up a business and that kind of failed, I guess. And then R.E.D was created, or when you had surgery. There's so many things of it all.
Yeah, the most part that I can relate to Red is that after my surgery, I had never gotten sick. I have never in my life took medicine. I used to, if I get sick, I'm the type I sleep it off.
Yeah.
And so, what do you call it? And tough it out. But this really, my first surgery ever.
This was back in April of 2014, and you were the Superman that I'm unstoppable with health-wise, and all of a sudden, it was just an unbelievable time in our lives.
Yeah.
Because then, you were ready yourself. Who would have thought that you were going to create a brand and go through all these stages yourself in a very mentally, physically bad way? And I said physically because you've worked out, you've always been in good figure and so on. But that time you just dropped like 20 something pounds in like a week.
Yep. My shirts were fitting me like nightgowns. I still remember when the surgeon came in and, he explained to me everything. And I told him, it was so funny because he's like, I told him, so you're going to cut into me. You're going to open me up. And he said, I am a surgeon. That's what I do. And I just started bawling. I was like, no, you can't cut me and all that. So that was hilarious. I'm sure he got a kick out of it. But the loss of weight, not being dependent on myself. I always had to depend on, my loved ones and all that stuff. And couldn't do anything myself. Couldn't even pour, drinks or coffee. I couldn't do anything. So I fell into depression and everything. And I had to, either at that point, I told myself I have to lift myself up. I have to rebuild myself, or I'm going to stay down and stay like this, in the depression mode. And this is my life. I have to either face what I'm going through right now and push through it, or just settle for what is and, leave it as is.
When you created R.E.D, do you remember any of the other names that you thought about? Because I remember you would throw, I really don't remember many of them because R.E.D, obviously, that one stood the most. But any names that kind of came your way as to?
There were so many, I'm sure there was. But the one that's always stuck to me is sacrifice lifestyle or sacrifice apparel or, but I remember sacrifice because of the sacrifices that everybody makes, or has to do to get to where they need to be.
When you said R.E.D, I remember looking at you and I was like, the hell, R.E.D, like the color red? And you're like, come on, don't you get it? I'm like, no. And then when you said rebuild, evolve, destroy, and I was like, like that's perfect because again, every single walk of life. And when R.E.D was created, during that time, how did you make it happen? How did you print those first shirts?
Oh man, that was a tough one. Had rent money. And it was a decision whether to just keep on, living paycheck by paycheck, at one time being almost homeless. What do you call it? And it was just one of those gambles that I do it all over again. I took our rent money and I invested it into some shirts, and from then on, I never looked back. I mean, every step that I've made, it's been slow. I'm not one to rush into things, but I do it right. Mm-hmm. I do it with a passion. I don't just do it just to do it or say, hey, I'm going to do this and there it is. I do everything with a passion, with a drive every day. It was with rent money and
practically gambled rent money and then let's go for it. Right. And had an event that weekend, and then you just kind of tripled the money, and it's like, okay, keep going full force with it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, then we paid rent for almost a whole year, a month behind, but
eviction notices every single freaking month. Yeah. And by the time that I would go pay rent, the girl she thought I was paying rent for like that month. And I was like, no, this is rent for like last month. And yeah, it was, looking back at it, like you said, I would definitely, I know you would go through it all over again just to be where you are right now. Right. And then there's still long more to come because where R.E.D is at, it's nowhere near to where your vision and your passion, I know in your heart where it will be. Yeah.
I haven't, people always tell me, oh my God, you have a warehouse now and you're doing this, and you know, I see your brand everywhere. And, you know, to me, you know, it's one of those things. I don't allow myself to fall in, you know, that comfort zone that, yeah, you know, my brand's out there, you know, people wearing it, blah, 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 and all that stuff. That to me, that doesn't even faze me.
Well, because within Red itself, once you accomplish a goal for the business, it's like you continue. It's like Red is being Red itself because you continue to evolve. You're like, I can't be stuck just right there with the business.
Right.
Let me continue moving forward, making bigger moves and so on.
Yeah, exactly.
So behind every shirt, even though sometimes it's like, what are you trying to say with those shirts? Every single shirt, like you're currently wearing one of the most recent collections, Rerun This. For example, with Rerun This, what is the message behind it? Because every single one of the shirts is not, you just don't put words into it. People may think like, oh, that's cool. It says to believe, I can believe, or rerun this. No, there's a message behind every single one.
So every shirt I've made or collection or drop, whatever, I've either have lived it, I'm living it, or I want to live it. So everything has it's I can't explain it, but it just happens. We run this. I again, because of the times we're living in now. I came up with it to where, you know, it's one of those things that you know, individual. You've always heard that divided we fall, united we run this.
Yeah.
The united we're stronger. So, you know, I said, you know what, let me make a couple of designs and all that. And, you know, stating we run this, to unify everybody, you know, that when you wear it, you're part of Red Nation. You're part of a movement. You're not just wearing a shirt just to wear a shirt.
Yeah.
You know, the logo, the 3 stripes, you know, that represents, you know, plates of weights, you know, or weights of plates. You know, and I thought of that because, you know, before we start to rebuild, we feel pressured all the time. And I want people to look at the logo and be like, you know what? I remember that time that I was going through a certain time in life where, you know, I thought I couldn't move on. And that's a reminder, you know. And so I think it's really cool that, you know, when I tell people and meet people and tell them and all that, that they can relate. A lot of them. I get DM'd on the daily basis, and people telling me, you know, what's this? And I tell them, and after I tell them, they're kind of like in like awe, like, you know, it's not just 3 letters.
Yeah.
You know, that, you know, it's really crazy how many people can relate to the brand.
It goes for everything. You know, people that have gone through a divorce, mentally, people that are, you know, mental awareness is such a huge, it's been a huge thing, but right now it's just the word itself, awareness. People are being more aware about it. So it pertains to that. When you said that, you know, when you want people, when they wear it, that they're part of something, that they're part of the Red Nation, you always use a perfect example about name brands, which is you can be wearing something very nice, or no offense, but I mean, share the example that you always tell us.
No, I mean, it could be, I mean, it's just any name brand. When you wear it, are you buying it just because you want to be cool and part of the, you know, part of the fab, you know, what's in right now? Or you know, think about it. When you buy something, do you buy it just because everybody else is wearing it? Or, you know, are you buying it because you believe in that brand? Or do you, you know, are you, how can I say, supporting it for I don't know, any reason, you know, at all, or you know, it just all, you know, it really started, and I've never even told you this. My little brother, God rest his soul. My little brother used to wear plain shirts all the time, you know, and I would tell him, I'm like, hey, you're always just wearing plain T-shirts and all that, and he goes, well, yeah. I go, so why don't you wear, like, you know, the little, back then it was like the crocodile or whatever that was back in the day, and he goes, well, why am I going to buy a brand and support that brand if they're not paying me? They're not, you know, I'm not getting nothing out of it. You know, everybody else is wearing it. And I'm like,
yeah.
So I think that got embedded in my head way back then. And that's why I wanted to create a brand that people can be very proud to wear. And they knew there was a message. It's unity, and then that's all that this is all about. It's about believing in yourself. You don't, just because you buy a red shirt, isn't it just because, hey, I bought red and it stands for this, and this is what I believe in. That's cool. That's all that. But it goes back to the person. The person himself, herself, needs to believe in themselves. That's it.
But yeah, people say all the time, "Oh my gosh, the shirts are amazing, shorts, leggings, sports bras, everything," right? And it's huge. It's a great thing to be told that, but I'm pretty sure that the satisfaction that you get more, it's the story behind that person as to why they're wearing that particular. So how is it for you? How did you even learn? Because one of the biggest things that is incredibly amazing and I love about R.E.D immensely is that you take pride of every single shirt you put out there, not only because of the meaning behind it, but because you're literally screen printing every single one.
Correct.
How did you learn? Tell people. How did you learn to do that?
YouTube. Wanted to design, got on YouTube. Wanted to screen print, got on YouTube. Everything I've learned as far as screen printing has been self-taught on YouTube. What do you call it? It's a stress reliever for me to be in the warehouse till 1 in the morning, So thankfully, as we've gone through the years, you've been there to help me screen print. Now with Xander here, we have Mia, Alex, that steps in, our daughter. She steps in and she's here most of the time when there's no school on the weekends, and we tough it out. We get here and we have a ball, we have a fun, and we print away. I mean, everything is done in-house. So whenever people wear red, it's just, it's not somebody in the back that hates their job and just screen printing. We've come to the point that if there's a little smudge, there's a little any imperfection,
it cannot be sold.
It cannot. There's no way. If I wouldn't wear it, a design, if I wouldn't wear the way it looks, it does not make it out of the warehouse. It becomes a proof, screen printing proof shirt, or a
giveaway just for us, for ourselves. You mentioned the kids, but it's a family-run business.
Correct.
So it's you. You're the leader of the pack, and you have everybody else. Part of that are also your 2 older sons, Manny Jr. and Matt, who play a big part because, as I'm thinking about that and I'm getting emotional, we're going to have an episode when they're going to come along.
Yeah.
And you won't be here to hear what they have to say, how it really is working with their father. No, it's great, but, it's just like any family, ups and downs. But that's another episode to say. So you having your family working with you, what the hell am I already crying? I don't even know what you're going to say to that, right? It just, God, we take so much pride on this. Having your family supporting you, this is a family-run business. Technically, without them, you just wouldn't be here with the business.
Right.
How is that?
It's challenging. I mean, it's family, and you've always heard, you don't do business with family, but I mean, go ask the Bushes, the Bush beer company and all, how it works for them. How do they make it work? So don't tell me that you don't mix family. Yes, there's going to be ups and downs. There's, going to be disagreements and all that. But in the end, family is forever.
Yeah. What is your biggest, I would say your biggest challenge having this company? What has been your biggest challenge? Ooh, put you on the spot.
I wouldn't say there's any challenges. There's obstacles. If that's the difference.
Like that. Yeah.
There's obstacles, but it's just hard. There's obstacles, and of course, you know me. There's no obstacles that's going to get in my way.
Yeah.
I'll figure out a way. If I can't go around it, I will knock it down. If I can knock it down, I'll go around it. I'll figure it out. But no, there's really no challenges or anything like that. It's a hard business. The apparel industry is very hard. It's so many great companies out there and all that, and they all have their why they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I truly believe that red really now, again, more than ever, I can't stress out. It's one of those things that I think if we can get it out there and let people know about more about red, that, you know, it's a tool to help people, you know, get through this pandemic, through this time in life that we're all going through.
And even at that, like, you know, we try our best to put in the captions, like on Instagram, right, on what RED stands for, whatever post we're going to put, say a caption pertaining to it. But it's like the words don't come out right, because I feel like once people are hearing us talking about RED and this and that and what we went through.
I'm notorious for that. I can type something up and it'll sound so idiotic and all that, and you know, you have to proofread half of my captions and all that stuff. But I'm one of those persons that I can't put into content or texts
what you want to say,
what I want to say, for sure.
Absolutely. You're a verbal person. You have to speak up on it.
You're a very verbal person.
Very much so. Throughout the next episodes, yes, you guys will get to know that I'm a very verbal person. I'm very brutal. I'm just blunt. Manny is nicer. He's nicer. He watches what he's gonna say. What is one thing that you want people to remember about this first episode about RED?
That it was actually our very first episode. And if we sound kind of nervous or I started a little bit
there you go,
anything like that, to, you know, excuse that. But no, just basically just man, I like, again, I can't, you know, I'm so like, so many things going through my head right now, as you can imagine.
Like this, we were saying, okay, so we want to make sure that people get across what RED stands for and like share a little bit about your story. Like it can't all be just put in one episode. It's going to take several ones, right? Because as we're going through other ones, like things are going to pop up. Oh, remember this, and remember that, and so on. It's just, the main thing is, you know, with our guests that we're going to be having, how much more people, again, are going to be able to relate to, like, oh, they went through that. Oh, I went through that. Like, you know, I have my testimony. You have your testimony. What else is there, you know, to relate to with RED?
Right. I mean, occasionally we'll bring in, you know, somebody to loosen things up or stuff. But for the most part, we're going to, you know, it's all strategic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People that, you know, we've known personally, you know, and people that we don't know, but that we know that they've gone through rough times, you know, and they've created themselves, they've created jobs, they've created businesses, you know. There's so many great stories out there, and everybody just thinks that, you know, people get lucky, and luck has nothing to do with it. It's all about drive and passion. And
it's so exciting because it's going to be more also to hear, people's testimonies. I call them the RED testimonies, and we have that hashtag that I am RED, because every single person is. But I'm more excited also to all the behind the scenes that go on that people don't know of. And again, especially with you, this is a big step for you. Like, huge. Yeah. And lately, like, I've been tagging you purposely on certain posts on our RED Instagram, by the way, at @red_lifestyle_. That's our Instagram name. But I've been tagging you purposely because I'm like, you have to let people know, like, you are the man behind RED. You are the creator. You are the one. Of course, again, a family-run business, and everybody puts a part into it. But, you know, without you creating this lifestyle, you know, people really wouldn't understand that they are currently rebuilding, or they have rebuilt, that they're currently evolving, and so on. I mean, you're currently in a stage. I'm currently in one of those stages, and it's just something. It's a lifestyle. It just keeps going. Every season of life, we're going through something, but at the end of the day, we get through the shit, you know? Mm-hmm. What else? Talk to me. A couple more minutes. Talk to me, Manny. Let's go. Let's go. You need to. Come on. Mira. Loosen up. Mueve las manos. Shake it off. Shake it off. Anything else you want to say to end this first episode?
Thanks for everybody listening, if anybody is listening. If not, get the word out there. I guarantee you this is going to get way, way better.
We're not pros, obviously. Obviously. But, you know, it's just to kick this off
I
because
don't even think the machine's on or anything like that. So.
Imagine. No, it's just to kick this off because if we were to prolong it anymore, it was just gonna be like, okay, yeah, that's it. We're not gonna go for it. And again, like I said, every time you have an idea, and I'm just like, huh? I just know there's a purpose behind it.
Right.
You always do something, and there's always a purpose behind it. So wherever we're lead to with this, at the end of the day, just know that everybody is R.E.D. Every single walk of life can relate to it. And I hope that right now, whoever is listening in whatever hardships that they're going through, they can be like, man, I want to be part of that because of what they're going through right now.
Yeah. Shout out to my boy Javi for setting all this up for us.
Yes, I do want to thank huge shout out to Javi and Diana. Oh my goodness, the way God works. I'm very thankful for them because they have been a huge part of this podcast behind the scenes, which has been only in a short 2 weeks that we put this together, actually. So actually, they will be part of our podcast in one of the episodes. And so I'll get to chat it up with them. But yeah, they've been so helpful. Again, when Manny brought up this whole thing to do a podcast, I was like, okay, yeah, let's go for it. Then we were both looking at each other like, how the heck? Like, what do we need? What do you need? Do you need this? Do you need that? And then just with open arms, they're kind of like the godmother and the godfather of our podcast, technically, because they, without hesitation, with open arms, they were like, this is what you got to do. And we're like, wow. So yes, we've been very, very thankful, very blessed for them. Thank you, Manny, for finally getting in front of a camera, finally getting in front of a mic, speaking up a bit. The stories, we have so many stories. Again, we can't cram everything up into one episode. It would just not flow naturally. But as we go, we will continue to share with y'all, the behind the scenes, just stuff that we've just been through that led us to be this company that we still have a lot more to go, because I personally feel very successful for R.E.D. Not how many people don't know of it, I understand. But the reason I say I feel very successful with this brand is because the success of it is not the money of it, is the stories that people share with us.
Absolutely. I'm that geeks me
Oh
out,
my,
so
yes. This other shows, we'll talk more about that, but even people that just message us on Instagram, oh my gosh, I was going through this. And I'll never forget this one girl that had shared with me that she was going through a divorce and how like she was able to relate to R.E.D. And I was like, thank you for opening up with that. A good customer of ours, he's out there in Dallas, and he shares with us like what he was going through medically and his health wise. And just the brand has just helped him get through it. So that, to me, that's success right there. Yeah, of course, you want to live comfortable and everything, but just those stories that people share is unbelievable. You guys don't hesitate, message us on R.E.D. Let us know what you're going through. We love hearing that. That to us means the world.
Trust me, Jazzy reads me all of them all the time.
I do.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my, and sometimes I want to sit there and go back and forth messaging with people. We get so busy, but I do acknowledge them. And I'm very thankful for many of y'all that open up to us, because that's when we know that the purpose with R.E.D. is being known, that it's spreading out there, that people are relating to it. That's it.
Cool.
Thank y'all so much once again for listening to us. Give us your feedback. Let us know what do you want to know. Give us suggestions for upcoming episodes. We greatly appreciate every single one of you. Thank you guys for all the support that we have received, not just with this podcast, but just in general with R.E.D. Greatly appreciate y'all. Peace, love, God bless.
We out.